Hey folks, welcome back to Let's Play Nioh. I'm the Mysterious JG. I have been away from this game for probably well over a month now because I had a long multi-part recording session playing this game late into the night with Mountain Dew while doing all of those side missions and all that stuff that involved fighting two bosses at a time and like post-story stuff. And man, I was so happy when I beat that mission with Nobunaga and what's his name, the Obsidian Samurai. Even though video-wise, as of recording, 20-something views and one comment, which is semi-sarcastically complimenting me for actually using the mid-stance periodically. So not setting YouTube on fire, but I was pretty happy. People have been annoyed, I guess, that when someone revealed the secret tactic of tripping up human bosses, I've begun to rely on it very heavily. But, you know... Ooh, I never beat Bearville Tidings. But, anyways, yeah, it's been a long time, so I'm not good at the game, I would think. I'm probably going to have a really rotten start coming back to it for a long time and not really remembering all the inputs very well because I just got done playing some Red Dead Redemption, so I'm probably going to be trying to talk to people to gain Paragon points. A couple things I could do. I could play the Abyss. I feel like at some point I need to do a video of just playing the Abyss. I might use that to wrap up the LP entirely. Because the next logical thing to do now on Way of the Samurai. Which of these is the lower difficulty level? I think Way of the Samurai is the easier one. Yeah, because I've already done everything. So what I need to do, what I'm planning to do now is to get going on the last two DLCs. So they split the Siege of Osaka into... So historically, the Siege of Osaka is kind of the end of the Sengoku Jidai. Hideyoshi's son, who was only a little boy when Hideyoshi died, is now Hideyori Toyotomi, I guess his name was. He's old enough now that he's become the last potential rival for Tokugawa Ieyasu's control of the land. So Tokugawa, now you can read about this in like actual real history. One of the things that Tokugawa did that was so genius was he actually retired and named an heir when he was old enough to support the heir in various ways. So he named his son Hidetada to take over behind him and retired. So Hidetada actually had like decades as the de facto ruler of Japan before Ieyasu died. And wait, I'm getting the names confused. Hidetada Tokugawa, was his name Hidetada, or am I confusing? Hideyoshi's son was Hideyori. Yeah, Hidetada actually ruled Japan while his father was alive. So the genius of this is that Tokugawa Ieyasu basically ensures that there's not going to be a big power struggle after he dies because Tokugawa Hidetada had actually been running things. And then Hidetada follows, I guess he follows Ieyasu's example, or maybe he doesn't, but either way, yeah, like when Nobunaga died unexpectedly, there wasn't a succession order in place, so his retainers sort of divvied up the spoils for themselves, and Hideyoshi takes over. But then Hideyoshi, again, he does the same thing. He tries to sort of set up a council of elders to rule in peace after he's gone, but that doesn't really last. And Sekigahara is the result. But now Ieyasu has control of the land after Mitsunari's faction is destroyed at Sekigahara, and a handful of powerful nobles. You know, he's got the loyalty of people like Masamune, even though in this game Masamune, as in many of the games, is portrayed as being deceptive and up to something. But, you know, he's running the land. He puts his son in charge while he's still alive, as I've repeated I've like explained to death now. And there's no challenges left. Except for one. There was no, politically, morally, in the eyes of the public, justifiable reason to kill Hideyori. who is the son of Hideyoshi, and therefore the one guy that, people who are opposed to Tokugawa can rally behind as the true ruler. So the siege of Osaka is basically on a pretext. It's one of those deals. I can't remember exactly how it went down. You can read up on it, but it's one of those deals where, you invite the guy to come dine at your castle, and if he comes, you assassinate him and blame someone else, and if he doesn't come, you claim that you've been insulted, and therefore you have to get revenge. So you go kill them. So he definitely sets up. He sets Hideyori up. Hideyori refuses to leave his keep, so Tokugawa declares that he's in violation of the law and he's insulted Tokugawa and blah blah. And he sends his forces to take out Hideyori, so that Hidetada will be the unchallenged ruler of Japan. And of course, it works. And the Tokugawa shogunate rules until the Meiji Restoration, which I don't know that much about, but it's another thing that's a big, popular subject for anime. And the Meiji Restoration leads more or less indirectly into the era of Tojo and the military taking control of the country in World War II and all that other fun stuff. But yeah, the Tokugawa shogunate wrote rules for a long time after this. This really is the end. This is the last thing that stands in their way of a couple hundred years of having, peaceful, unified Japan. Now, there are certainly things that are going on during the Tokugawa shogunate that aren't a lot of fun. I watched some movie with my folks during a visit to them. I can't remember what it's called, but it had Liam Neeson in it about Christian missionaries in Japan and the way they were treated. Not entirely pleasant. But the point is, this is really the end of the... God, I'm blathering on. But yeah, this is it. The big figure as far as powerful warlord samurai who's backing up Hideyori is Yukimura Sanada. So the Osaka campaign is kind of the source of the legend. Yukimura Sanada being kind of like the... I guess it was like Davy Crockett and Sam Houston and all those guys who died at the Alamo. The great American legend of standing up against impossible odds, an immeasurably large army under Santa Diana, the Generalissimo himself, attacking, and a group of ragtag Americans holds out at the Alamo, and they're defeated, but it's this glorious defeat where they never gave up. Well, Yukimura Sanada is kind of the one-man version of the entire American garrison at the Alamo, famously dying outnumbered 1,000,000,000 out there fighting with a spear, and made Bishonen and paired up with Zhao Yun and the various Warriors games. But it also led to what I always thought was the dickish quote from Tokugawa, which was that no one will ever remember the name of the common soldier who killed Yukimura Sanada, but Yukimura Sanada's name will live forever. And I'm like, well, that says as much about you and how you reward your soldiers as anything else. Either way, so... the final big battle, it's always just one battle in the Dynasty Warriors games, but they've made two different DLCs about it here. The Siege of Osaka is where Tokugawa's armies go in and take out Yukimura and everybody who is fighting to keep Hideyori alive and maintain some opposition to Tokugawa taking over the country. And it should be, from everything I've heard, really freaking hard, and I'm probably going to get one-shotted to death by anything that touches me. But let's go ahead and see how we can do. He looks different. He's more of a demon when we meet him in person. Wow, his mother looks really strange. Oh, never mind, that's her. Oh, so his mother is the evil one, huh? Oh, it's Hanzo telling this story, so he's making it out like the Toyotomi are being really bad. And by the way, I hope you played the Masamune DLC and didn't just jump straight into this one. That would be terrible. Sure. He's a real jerk. And Shonen, awesome guy. I don't know what form it'll take, but I'm sure that it seems unlikely that A, we won't fight Yukimura, and he'll be a really powerful boss who one-shots you and is a big pain in the ass to defeat. B, it seems unlikely that he won't be portrayed as a hero in some way, shape, or form during this, because... wait a second, am I playing on the wrong difficulty level? No. This is the right difficulty level. Because again, these things don't have exclamation, they have check marks. Okay, I got confused about what was what. Exclamation mark means you haven't done it yet, check mark means you have, so I am on the right difficulty level. But yeah, he's going to be portrayed as a good guy before it's all over. He's freaking Yukimura Sanada. Like I said, he's the entire American garrison defending the Alamo all rolled up into one dude. So let's see what my current layout is. Hopefully I'm not... got a Poison Charm, Ninjutsu Life Drain, Ninjutsu Power, Sloth Talisman bonus. I believe I am set for combat and not for leveling up. Yeah. Okay. Let's see how this goes. Sloth Talisman gets less and less effective, I'm told, as you continue, but it's still been a bit of a lifesaver for me. So let's check out the dragon. Oh, and our little ghost cat friend isn't really talking to us anymore. I guess now that we've rescued Hanzo, he's back to being the story's narrator. 'Tis a pleasure to see you again, Anjin. I was hoping we would get a chance to speak over a cup of the finest sake. Hey, did you know that you have a chance to fight for my army if you donate $100 or more to fighting MS in Canada? Anyway, however, now is not the time for that. Though our positions and beliefs may differ, we are samurai, you and I. Sometimes it is best to let our swords do the talking. I think you know what that means. Let us fight. Let's have a sword fight with each other. Let's cross swords in bed. So I suppose we're fighting with Masamune Date. I don't know if he'll appear as a support character or if it's just a plot thing, but we are... it's a side mission, but they're not really explaining what we're doing. Am I crazy, or are they not explaining what we're doing? What level am I, anyway? Because it says you're supposed to be 175. I am 194. There are titles that I'm supposed to be... possibly points I'm supposed to spend. Elixir, gold earned, damage from fall, item drop rate. Let's go with... elixir, I guess. And there's all sorts of amulet and memories. Well, okay, so the main story would be this. We don't have to jump right in, but... Though we of the Tokugawa forces may be greater in number... Oh, look, I'm Santucci. We shall remain on the outskirts of Osaka Castle, with no way in if we cannot overcome the Sanadamaru. Our vanguard is doing its best to besiege the castle, but it is being thwarted by the fortress's high walls and deep trench. I understand now why Lord Ieyasu feared Masayuki's son Yukimura so much. William, we should head towards the Sanadamaru with Masamune. The woman you seek, Maria, is likely somewhere in the middle of the fray. Oh, you meant to pronounce Maria? Whatever. Alright, so I guess this is just us marching. And then this is us at the Sanadamaru, which is kind of like a big cannon keep. I believe the Sanadamaru is like a big building with a bunch of cannons that are like overseeing the approaches to this castle. Whatever. Alright. I guess Hanzo knows we're still alive. Tokugawa knows we're still alive too, but he's pretending he doesn't. Like, he apparently could see through Hanzo's lies. Don't believe Hanzo's lies, folks. Just like Andor. But, our love interest, Kunoichi, appears to have disappeared entirely. She is not a part of the DLCs, sadly. But, yeah, the idea that we're secretly helping and no one knows we're alive seems to have gone out the window at this point, because Masamune is just like totally knows we're around and whatever. Let's see what this mission's about. This dojo is a training ground for samurai. It is filled with blood, sweat, and tears of the uncounted warriors who polished their techniques within its walls. These long traditions and secrets are handed down from generation to generation of samurai. So after a long break from this game, I'm finally playing again because I do enjoy the game, but I hit the point where I need to actually get a couple of videos recorded, or my modest 2 videos a week upload rate for this particular series. I finally ran out of videos. So let's see. Hoping I can get through this side mission relatively simply. Oh, it might... Is it just a fight against Masamune? Maybe that's not... Oh, boy. It is. It's just a fight against Masamune. Okay. I didn't realize that's what it would be. I know at least one of my subscribers is annoyed that I'm not fighting bosses right. I'm just relying entirely on the knockdown technique. Okay, apparently he can break right through that. Alright, off to a terrible start here. But at least I should be able to beat this within a video, I hope. Oh crap, I didn't get a chance to apply any of my buffs. Well, it looks like I did switch to the technique that makes instant buff application. It's not as much fun as some, but it is more effective. Oh crap. I hate you, Masamune. Off to a rotten start. Don't know if he's tougher than he was, or it's just that I haven't played in a while. Because I was beating encounters with, like, doubled bosses. Never quite tell when his combo's over. But the fact that I'm not moving far from my spawning point is having kind of a positive effect. It makes it easy for me to get my my corpse back. Oh, where is my corpse? It's over here this time. Time to start cheesing. Sorry, guys. Poison him? It'd be nice if I could poison him. Fortunately, I died there. That wasn't the plan. kind of hoping somehow I would break through his guard there, but no. That was not what happened. Starting with a boss fight, probably. In retrospect, this wasn't the ideal way to get going again. I got the wrong stance going. And immediately dead. Okay, yeah, so, I mean, you can skip ahead in this video if you want. I did explain I haven't played this game in like a month. Oy. Lost the button for running for a second, which wasn't good. Alright. And I'm back towards where I start this thing, too. That's good. So I can maybe cheese him. I was kind of hoping he would charge forward there. I probably should have done something to punish him for missing that. Oh, what? Come on, game. Oh, area of effect. Boo. Trying to get my skills back to the extent that I had them. At least I'm in the right freaking stance now. I like the idea this is Masamune jumping you after you had no idea that you were going to be fighting. You're like marching together towards the Sanity Keep for this important battle. far away. I wasted 2 important cheese attacks here. Now the question is, do I remember how to trigger the living weapon? And I didn't. Wrong stance. And I just wasted my last slow him down tablet. But that's okay. I got him while I was posing. Woo! Okay, that was one way to restart things. 20 minutes, well 15 minutes of failing against a boss I'd already beaten. Oh, I didn't even think to shoot you in the face with the giant gun, which I should have done probably. Oh, I didn't get to pose? Oh, I get another soul out of him? I don't collect souls. This isn't that game at all. Nothing like the game where you collect souls by defeating enemies. Oh, the third eye, the one that lets you turn into a dire wolf. And its giant brains. And he sucks. That's the other thing to bear in mind. Eventually I'll battle him. Who's talking now? Masamune is going to look after this kid? Or that was the ghost of Kojiro? I was going to bow, but... Alright, well, I got a new Guardian Spirit for doing that, so I guess that's part of what you paid for in the DLC. I guess I didn't have enough... Yeah, I couldn't do a living weapon because I hadn't saved up enough Amrita. I hadn't filled my gauge, so that kind of makes sense. But yeah, I cheesed my way through that as much as possible with the trip him up technique, but I had to do a little bit of damage that didn't rely on that, and I did. Yay me. Can't you see what I carry? This is the guardian spirit of the Katakura. Shiganaga was supposed to inherit it from the previous Kojuro, Kagatsuna, but it seems you also possess the qualifications necessary to bear it. Shiganaga may still be young, but the time for him to carry on Kagatsuna's legacy shall come. You too have learned much, William. Did you really think you were the only one who could read people? I shall look forward to seeing where your journey takes you. It kind of makes sense that Masamune Date would be one of the characters who would try to learn his William's actual European name rather than calling him Anjin, because one of the things about Masamune Date that is interesting and makes him a character that I thought might be fun to play as in Nobunaga's Ambition is he was one of the most progressive samurai of the area as far as, to the extent that he was really interested in learning about the world outside of Japan. So, he is the kind of guy, A, who probably would have been working with some suspicious Spanish woman, but B, yeah, he wouldn't just be referring to you by some goofy name that was known to him and only to be a name that they used for you because he didn't think Japanese people could pronounce your name right. All right, well, if we take a minute... Oh, we might have new titles here. I guess not. Oh, I might have a new title for having beaten... no, never mind, that's not... Whatever, fine. If I were to use the young ninja's locks, I would get 1 ninja skill point. Can't even say that I can use that for anything right now, because I've only got the 1. Oops. Now I'm just going to have that stupid ninja skill point icon on my screen all the time. I probably should have left that alone. But, what are we doing with the ninja skill points as I get them now? I mean, eventually dexterity was going to become my dump stat just to increase Kusari Gamma damage if I ran out of things to spend other skill points on, but, I got that only so I could get Fire Shuriken. I could get Touch Me Not scrolls to be a little cheaper. Improve projectiles. No, that's a scroll. I'll probably end up putting it into damage. Eventually putting them into damage or carrying capacity for ammo. Doesn't really matter. Alright, folks, so that was, we got a video's worth of content out of that, I guess. A lot of it was me just jibber-jabbing. But when we come back, we will get going on the first main story mission of the Osaka Campaign DLCs. I'm the Mysterious JG. Thanks for watching. I'll catch you next time. Bye-bye.